Welcome, welcome. Today we're going to do the summer cutaway. I wanted you to see it. I wanted you to see it on. I put my hair up so you could see it all, but it's not how I would wear it. And it is how I would wear it, but I'll tell you the story. But I also made this great little wrap to go over it. Oh, and I love this thing, and I'm going to show you how it works. So we're going to do both today. We talked about the other day that summertime really, anytime you do anything monochromatic, it works really, really well. So we're going to show you, I want to show you this. I'm really excited. I love this. I love the whole concept. So I hope you do too. So first we're going to start with this first photo that I found. And it was really, I had this fabric. It's 100% cotton. I can't remember the designer, but it's one of those really high-end designers, and it's beautiful. It's 100% cotton. It's just beautiful fabric. And so what I decided I wanted was something, 2 layers on top, something that I could do. So I shopped and shopped and shopped, and I found this first garment. I'm going to show this to you just because I love the color, and I thought, well, that's not really flattering. It's kind of tankish. It's beautiful, but I don't know that it's kind of what I'm looking for. But that's what started me looking, so I kept going on and on. And then I came across this next picture, and I loved that. I thought it was so summery and so simple and just pretty, but it's a mock tee, and I thought, will that work? Yes, it will work. So that's where I started, but I knew that I didn't want shoulders showing all the time, so I'm going to show you this next picture. And I found this picture, and of course it's just this top worn under a jacket. I thought, okay, that is something I could do, but I don't want a jacket. I wanted a little more casual. See all these complexities going on in my brain. So what I decided is I could do just a simple little wrap over it. So let's go through all the differences that I hope you like it as much as I do. I love it. It's 101. 101 is where I started. And the pattern changes are very simple. I'll show them to you in just a minute. But then 112. 112 is the wrap that goes over it. Now the reason I chose this wrap, and I'm going to show you 112. I made 2 changes to the 101. I'm going to show you what those are. And I made no changes to this wrap. I made 1 change, okay, but anyway, the 1 change I make is whenever I do this front part, it's got a long front, and you can do several things with this. Casey's 5-way top, and it has all the different ways in here. I'm going to show you a couple, but I always put a seam at the center of this. This is shown to cut this on the fold. The reason I don't cut it on the fold is because it's so much easier to align it to know where that part is going. So for instance, if you just decide to put over your shoulders like that, you know what goes over. It's like the center mark, and then you pair it with a belt. The way I really like it the most is when you take the center part, and like I said, all the different ways to wear it are in there. You take the center part and you just twist it 1 time, and then balance it out, and then lay it over your shoulders. I love this way. I love this way. So what you can see is, if you go back to the original top now, you can still see a little peekaboo, and I love that it looks very summery, and yet you've still got a little bit of coverage. So totally up to you. You can wear, the base top by itself, clearly, like when I started. So let's look at these pattern changes. All right, so the first thing I did is I added length, because I knew with this top that I would want added length to the bottom, because I visualized how I would be wearing it. So I added, that's just for style. I added 5 inches to the bottom. To this 112, I added a seam at that center. I told you where it's on the fold on the pattern, I added a seam. But then to this top itself, to make this the cutaway top, you're going to take just this piece, and the changes are right there, and you're going to put a French curve. You're cutting away the shoulder. You're going to put a French curve about 1 inch down from the shoulder seam. So I put my French curve at 20 there. And you're going to pivot it over to the armhole. And this is all styling, so it doesn't matter how you lay your French curve. I did it concave because I wanted it to cover up more of my neckline, not cut in. If you want to show more of your neckline, you can turn the French curve like this, and you can see how much more it will cut away. When you turn it like I did, put 20 here and 14 comes over to the armhole, it almost looks like a raglan sleeve line. So just FYI, that's how you know you're doing it. Remember, it's about 1 inch here from the front and 1 inch here from the back. So when you go to sew on the collar, so what you do for sewing, you sew the 2 side seams. So you've got this tube now, and then you're gonna stitch the serge and finish off the armhole. If you want to be careful, raise your armhole up to sleeveless. My knit armhole and my sleeveless armhole are the same, so I didn't have to worry about it. But this is a knit, and if your sleeveless armhole is smaller than your knit armhole, then you want to be sure to raise it up first before you cut your pattern out, and then just finish it off. Just cut it off and finish it off. Okay, easy enough. And then you're going to hem that, finish it, and then you're going to go to put the collar on, and you're going to have this gap right between it. It's going to be about, you know, 1.5 inches, because that's what you took away when you took away the shoulder seam, and that gap is okay. And actually, when you do the seam, you're going to actually flip this seam up. The seam is just literally underneath there, all the way around. The seam is flipped up, and it lays beautifully, and it's just really fun. I didn't make any changes to the collar itself. And it's just really simple. It's really simple, and it lays beautiful because your sweater set fits so well, and it's great, and it's easy, and it's fun. So we did 101. We started with 101. We did that little cutaway. We added some length. We added 112 on top of it. We did monochromatic. Obviously, you know, you could do different colors, but I love it. It's called the Summer Cutaway. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.